So last night we had another football game. This is, of course, Monday Night Football after all the other games have been played, for those of you who don't live in America, but live in a box instead. Anyway, it was the Cowboys versus the Cardinals, and Donald Trump was going to get in on the action and triple down on his criticism of the NFL. Of course he was. And then I'll tell you what Dallas did. He said, "The booing at the NFL football game last night when the entire Dallas team dropped to its knees was loudest I have ever heard. Great anger." Okay, I heard it. It was definitely not the loudest I ever heard. There was definitely booing. They were in Arizona. So this is the worst talking point in American history. Like when Steelers didn't come out for the national anthem and they came out later in Chicago where they were playing Chicago, the fans booed. That's because they're the opposing team. And the Arizona players were also locking arms. So that makes no sense. They were booing the Cowboys when they took a knee because they're the opposing team. And look, I grant you that some of them might have been opposed to the kneeling or whatever, but that wasn't the only reason why. Okay, so let's show it to you, by the way. Here's what it looked like. And that was all the players, the coaches, and even, as you see right there, Jerry Jones taking a knee, the owner. The very, very wealthy, as far as we know, conservative, Chris Christie hugging owner of the Dallas Cowboys. Man, Trump is such a disaster. He got billionaire owners to take a knee in, not necessarily in unison with, but in sympathy with Colin Kaepernick, who they were keeping out of the league. Man, you are an epic fail. You're a living, breathing epic fail, Donald Trump. So, and Jerry Jones was not the first to lock arms with his players. Shahid Khan, the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars was, but he was the first to take a knee. Now, that what they did was they took a knee before the anthem, and then they went and locked arms during the anthem. So they're trying to have it both ways. That's okay, that's okay. I think to me it's a wonderful sign overall of not just unity, but saying, look, we're not just locking arms. We are in fact taking a knee, but we don't want to offend the people that think that the anthem is sacrosanct, and if you're in the wrong body position during the anthem, they're also going to get upset, or maybe some of the players would also get upset, and you want to respect their thoughts and their rights as well. So, okay, so how does Trump take this? It's a double slap at him. Not only do they all take a knee, but during the anthem, they also lock arms. So no, Trump has a different take on it. And he says, but while Dallas dropped to its knees as a team, they all stood up for our national anthem. Big progress being made. We all love our country. As if he solved it. No, they took the knee against you. And they locked arms during the national anthem against you as a sign of unity, saying that what you're doing is unacceptable. It's not like they were the whole league was locking arms during the national anthem before you made your comments. It was only some of the players, and it was all as a show of unity for the protest that Kaepernick started. Now he's trying to twist it like, oh yeah, well during the anthem, the protest that they're doing, we're making progress. We're making progress. You are such a child, a sad, sad child, baby. Then Trump tweets, ratings for NFL football are way down, except before the game starts when people tune in to see whether or not our country will be disrespected. Not worried about police brutality, not worried about African Americans and their plea for justice here, not worried about the freedom of speech of the players or anyone else. What's the ratings doing? What's the ratings doing? And then is it true that the ratings are up before the game? No, there's no evidence of that. Just made that up. It's like, oh, but I got good ratings. I got them good ratings before the game, and they had bad ratings afterwards. Got you. No, you didn't get anybody. You're a fool. You turned the entire league against you. Okay, but he doesn't get it, man. He really doesn't. According to people who were at gathering of right-wingers, he brought them in, he was excited. He thought he was winning. Oh my God, it's like Charlie Sheen standing on a roof with a machete going, I'm winning, I'm by winning. Anyway, he told those supporters, it's really caught on. It's really caught on. No, you schmuck, protests against you have caught on. You are so unbelievably dumb. Okay, he said, I said what millions of Americans were thinking. Now that actually has some degree of truth to it, unfortunately, because It is nowhere near the majority of Americans, but there's 330 million people in the country, and there is some percentage who think, come on, man. Not that police brutality is not that bad, and a lot of them might think that, and a lot of them might say that. But for most of them, I think they think, I just don't want to hear about it, because it's not my problem. I mean, if it's your 12-year-old son getting shot in a park in 2 seconds flat, well, that's your problem, not my problem. I just don't want to hear about it. It makes me uncomfortable, right? If it's disproportionately African Americans who were shot, even though they didn't have any weapons at all, even if they were, in some of the cases they're complying with police, and even though statistically it's worse, I don't want to hear about it. And unfortunately, that is true for a lot of Americans. Well, at least it was true until Donald Trump came in, and now the whole country's hearing about it because he bungled it so badly that he's turned hundreds of millions of Americans against him. So, but he can't stop. He's gonna double down further here. Let's go to video 1 where he's asked about it today. I think this is actually literally his 5th time doubling down. So is this quintupling down? Let's watch.
Well, I wasn't preoccupied with the NFL. I was ashamed of what was taking place because to me that was a very important moment. I don't think you can disrespect our country, our flag, our national anthem. To me, the NFL situation is a very important situation. I've heard that before about was I preoccupied? Not at all, not at all. I have plenty of time on my hands. All I do is work.
Don't say I have plenty of time on my tiny little hands. You're supposed to be focusing on Puerto Rico. You've got devastation down there. And he's like, I got plenty of time on my hands so I can go around picking fights with the NFL. Oh, and all I do is work. We see you golfing every weekend. We have TV cameras, we can see it, we have eyes. He's not done yet.
It doesn't take me long to put out a wrong, and maybe we'll get it right. I think it's a very important thing for the NFL to not allow people to kneel during the playing of our national anthem, to respect our country and to respect our flag.
The other dude there is like, what am I doing here? Who am I? Why am I here? Please make the pain stop. Okay. Anyway, when the president, the leader of the government, says that people should be made to kneel or fired if they kneel and should be forced to not speak their minds, we have a significant constitutional issue. If the teams on their own decide to take action, that's private action. When Trump does it, it's public action. And we're supposed to have freedom of speech in this country. And he's basically saying if you exercise your freedom of speech, you should be fired. That's a massive problem. It's gotten so bad, I'm gonna go to video 3 here. Even Kilmeade might have turned on him. Watch.
With the president, and I understand his sentiment, made things so much worse, and the language he used was terrible. When you have Robert Kraft coming out against you, you know you've gone too far. Robert Kraft spends time in the Lincoln bedroom. He's friends with President Trump beyond their wealth and their riches and their circles. He made things immeasurably worse by speaking out, and I know what his intention was, but the language used was galvanizing the wrong direction.
He made things immeasurably worse. Even Fox and Friends are saying that. You've lost Kilmeade, you've lost Kraft, you've lost Jerry Jones. What do you have left? But another one, he puts out a tweet. The NFL has all sorts of rules and regulations. The only way out for them is to set a rule that you can't kneel during your national anthem. He is now saying, as the leader of the government, you should not allow it, and it is your only way out. He has no idea what's in our Constitution. He doesn't know anything about this country. He doesn't know about our principles. All he cares about is himself. He's such a buffoon. And so when the NFL was asked about it, Joe Lockhart, that's the NFL's executive vice president of communications and public affairs, talked about how everyone in the locker room was united against Donald Trump's comments. And then he had this nice little comment. He said, everyone should know, including the president, this is what real locker room talk is. Damn, nice little reference to the Access Hollywood tapes from the campaign. Shots fired, and friendly fire. Trump is a disaster. He's not winning with this strategy, in this case, quite literally. Help us build independent media together. Come join us, tytnetwork.com/join.